Hey guys, so this will be my last video before I start making actual Worlds content reacting to the games being played, at least I think it will. Um, I want to go over my crystal ball picks for Worlds, and I'm going to go through them, talk about what I've put and why I've put them, and then if you guys think I've got anything good. I've just noticed there's 2 days, 22 hours, 22 minutes left until lock-in. It's all the twos. But yeah, if I've got anything that you guys agree with, then it gives you a chance to change your crystal ball. And if someone says something in the comments that, piques my interest, I've got a chance to change mine as well. So, most picked champion during Worlds at the moment, I've got Graves. I think Graves might end up being the highest priority jungler at Worlds without being ban worthy. So with this one, I feel like you've got this really sort of finicky middle ground where you want a champion that's playable in a lot of roles or comps, which Graves can do. He's pretty flexible. You want them to not be so strong that they're getting banned, but you also want them to be strong enough that they're getting picked a lot. I feel like Graves fulfills that set of criteria pretty well. There's a couple of other things. I think there might be a lot of prio on Ashe. I mean, obviously there'll be a lot of prio on Caitlyn, which is my most banned champion, but let's segue into that. So I think Caitlyn will be the most banned champion. I have a feeling that Caitlyn is just going to be a staple red side ban at this Worlds, which is generally where the 100% bans come from. If you think about Kalista a few years back, if you think about Pantheon a few years back, these were all 100% banned on red side. Like red side just had a 100% ban rate through the tournament on those champions, even as far back as like there's like Darius Mordekaiser in season 5 and stuff like that. So I think Caitlyn might be a very heavily banned champion in red side. When she is open though, one of the champions that she'll be picked with not often, but in certain circumstances, is Morgana. So Caitlyn's generally paired with Lux. That's the standard support matchup. But into certain things like Nautilus or, things where the Black Shield has really good value, if the enemy's playing Vi for some reason, you can pick Morgana instead of Lux. Your bot lane duo functions the same way, but you gain access to the Black Shield. So I think her pick rate is going to be low enough, but more than 5 games, where when she's picked, she's going to be insane. And I also think she's going to be picked in jungle. We've seen Canyon play it, we've seen Peanut play it as answers to things like, again, Vi, where they can just Black Shield the R while Turbo out farming, flying ahead in the economy, clearing faster, etc., and team fighting better. So yeah, I think Morgana's going to be picked not often, but more than 5 times, and when she is picked, the angle she's picked in is going to be so good that she's going to win by default. Another champion that I was thinking about picking here was Anivia, for exactly the same reasons. If you've seen my video on G2's caps, you'll know why I think Anivia is so insane in certain angles. I'm just not confident she'll be played in 5 games, even though I think she 100% should be. I don't think teams have clocked onto Anivia. So, this one's pretty interesting, the next one. Who will be played in the most different roles at Worlds? Now, I have Yasuo, and I'll explain why. Because you might be thinking this is quite weird, and this is something that I've changed today, actually. So I started out thinking Graves. I think Graves is almost definitely going to be played jungle top, and he might be played mid. That's a 3-way flex, right? But then I was like, maybe he won't be played mid. What about Seraphine? So Seraphine's played bot and support, just depending on which way around your players play Senna Seraphine. But she's also played mid, so that's a 3-way flex. And then there's like Maokai's become pretty strong and he can play top jungle support. Maybe he's the 3 flex. But then I thought about Yasuo. Now, every Worlds we see someone play Yasuo mid. I feel like that's a given. Someone at some point is going to play Yasuo mid, whether it's Caps, whether it's Showmaker, whether it's a random wildcard team. Okay. We've also seen this year a lot of Yasuo bot lane. I'm pretty sure Keria has played Yasuo alongside Senna. So that's a Yasuo support, technically. Dogdam for Damwon Kia has played Yasuo AD carry. That's another role for Yasuo. So I'm pretty confident that, there's a good chance of a 3-pick Yasuo. But Yasuo can also go in the top lane. So this pick might completely flop. There may be only one position of Yasuo. There may even be none. But I think it's the only pick in the game that has the potential to be picked at 4. So I'm going with Yasuo. And then the last one for champions is who will have the most total deaths. So it's got to be something that dies a lot. So it's got to be something that goes in. And it's got to be something that's picked a lot. and I went straight to Renekton, especially because Renekton a lot of the times just flops, like Dove's 080 Renekton. But even when Renekton's doing well, he's dying a lot because he's going in, he's soaking damage, that's kind of his thing. The other pick that I thought of was Nautilus, but I think Renekton's just going to get picked more than Nautilus, so yeah, I ended up going with Renekton. Not that I think he should be picked a lot, but I think he will be. On to players. Who will have the highest KDA at Worlds? So I've gone with Ruler. Gen.G are obviously one of the better teams at Worlds. They also have some pretty easy opponents in their group, which I think is very important for padding your KDA. I think Ruler will stack up a lot of KDA against Flying Oyster and 100 Thieves. Perhaps not so much against RNG, but the rest of his group is incredibly easy. After that, I expect Gen.G to be winning their games a lot, which will contribute to having high KDA, and then Ruler just in general has high KDA. He's an insane AD carry player, so yeah. Who do I think will play the most different champions at Worlds? Now, this for me has to be a mid laner. It's like the role with the most possible picks in it, as far as I can tell in the current meta. I was between Faker, Caps, and Showmaker. Now, I've gone with Showmaker on a whim. I think it could be either of the three, Caps, Faker, Showmaker. But when I get to talking about Damwon down here, the Showmaker pick will make a lot more sense. So just hang around for that. Who will get at least one pentakill at Worlds? I've got Gala. Now, Gala is a pentakill machine. This guy has had so many pentakills that I can remember, like MSI, and this guy's a monster. But also, he's in Playins, and the fact that he's in Playins, I think the odds of him getting a pentakill versus play-in teams are actually like pretty high. My honourable mention would be Deft, for exactly the same reason. He's in Playins, and it's Deft against like wildcard AD carries. But yeah, I'd give Gala the edge there. Who will get the most First Blood kills at Worlds? Now, first thought is Jankos, he's the First Blood king, but real talk, top esports are the best early game Chinese team. A big part of that comes down to Tien. He is always where he needs to be on the map. He's always affecting his lanes, getting them ahead. This guy in the early game is an absolute nutcase, and there's the chance that he flops again like he did last year, but come on, twice in a row, man. Can he really do that? I don't know. So yeah, Tien's got that for me. And then who'll get the most kills in a single game? I've put Viper. I think Viper is the second best player in the world. A lot of people have him as first. I personally have Chovy ahead of him, but I think it's very close between the two of them. But also I think he's on a worse team than, say, Ruler, who would be another candidate for this award, or even Chovy himself, or Knight, or any of these players. I think EDG are the worst team out of EDG have the best player on the worst team, let me put it that way, which means that their games are often going to be more scrappy. There's going to be more kills to get. They're not going to get closed out as quick, which means there's more potential kills, and I think Viper just has the highest chance of mopping those up. So yeah. Which team's going to win Worlds? This is obviously a gamble. I've been right the past 2 years with which team actually won. I bet Damwon in 2020, and I bet EDG in 2021. The year before, I was completely wrong. In 2019, I put Griffin, and they did not win Worlds. But yeah, I've got Gen.G winning this year. So, this is kind of just a gut feeling on which team you think is best. I think it's going to be Gen.G, Top, or Jingdong, but my dark horse is Damwon. I'm a big Damwon fan, and I think they do have the potential to win it, and I actually think they're the second best Korean team right now, despite losing to T1. If they play Nuguri, I think they're the second best team. If they play Burden, then yeah, no. Alright. This is another wildcard pick that I've gone for. Literally. I've gone for Detonation Focus Me for which team will place first in playing Group A. Now, if you look at the teams that are in this group, originally I had Fnatic here. I think Fnatic with Upset and Hilly playing would easily top this group. The problem is they're not playing Upset and Hilly because they have COVID and can't make it. At least they can't travel out for the playing stage. So I actually think Detonation Focus Me have a good chance of topping this group. Especially because also Evil Geniuses are playing without Danny. They're playing with Kaori, who didn't look bad, but I don't think he's exceptional. And of the 4 wildcard teams, I think DFM have the strongest roster. So I'm going out on a whim and I'm saying DFM for that one. Which team will place first in playing Group B? RNG. I think they're better than DRX, and it's between the two teams, RNG, DRX. I think RNG will place first, DRX will place second. I think RNG have a very good chance of going undefeated in this group. Yeah, it shouldn't really be that close. Which team from a region with 2 or less seeds will advance furthest through Worlds? So, I don't think any team from a region with 2 seeds or less has any chance of getting out of groups except GAM. I think GAM are the only one that have a chance of getting out of groups. So their group should, in theory, be Rogue, Top Esports, GAM, and DRX. And Rogue and DRX are definitely beatable. Top Esports, I don't think they're going to beat them, but I think GAM have a chance of getting out, second seed in that group. If you compare that to Flying Oyster, they've got RNG and Gen G in their group, so yeah, probably not going to happen. So I think GAM's the safest bet. And then finally for teams, this is a big one for me because I'm a bit of a Dom1 fanboy. I think they have the best drafts in the world right now, even if they execute them badly sometimes and play the wrong top laner. Not champion, player. But who will play the most different champions at Worlds? I have Dom1 Gaming here. Now, my evidence for this, or my, backing for this, and I think a lot of people, after seeing this, may end up putting Dom1 Gaming Gear in this slot, is if we look just in playoffs and the Gauntlet, okay, Dom1 played 3 series. They played 14 games? Yeah, 2 5-game series and a 4-game series. They played 3 series, 2 in playoffs, 1 in the Gauntlet, okay? In these 3 series, they played 35 champions, okay? For top lane, they played Renekton, Yone, Ornn, Gwen, Camille, Aatrox, and Azir top. For jungle, they played Wukong, Poppy, Viego, Vi, Sejuani, Lee Sin, and the Morgana pick. For mid, they played LeBlanc, Talia, Ahri, Corki, Swain, Silas, and Vex. For AD carry, this is where it gets real spicy. They played Lucian, Draven, Neela, Zeri, Sivir, Aphelios, all very standard. They also played Yasuo AD carry and Heimerdinger bot lane. Fucking awesome drafts. And then for support, they also played Nami, Braum, Lulu, Yumi, Renata, and Senna. So this team picks so much stuff. If they're not and also, because they're a good team and I expect them to get out of groups, they will play more series, or more games, because they'll play the group stage and the knockout stage. So they'll get more chance to pick more champions. And they're also my dark horse to win the tournament, so they might even play, 3 full best-of-5 series. So yeah, that's all the teams done. On to event. Now, this row was a bit lackluster for me. It was a bit boring, but I'll go through what I've put. So how many reverse sweeps do I think there'll be? I think there'll only be 1. I don't think they're really that common. They're kind of cool when they happen, but yeah. The only one that sticks in my mind recently is Top Esports reverse sweeping Fnatic. There might be another one that I'm forgetting, but yeah. How many pentakills do I think there'll be? I think there'll probably be 1 in each stage, like 1 in play-ins, 1 in groups, 1 in knockout, so 3+. But this as well gives you the potential to be more than that. What will the duration of the longest single game at Worlds be? I've gone big. I've gone 55 minutes plus. I think there's just going to be some random game, probably in play-ins between 2 weaker teams, where they've drafted like Sivir and some wave clear mid laner, and they just can't end the game. Like reminiscent of the Fountain Laser Jin Teddy game versus SKT. Something like that. Like, it only needs to happen once, and 55 minutes plus, there you go. How many Baron steals will there be is the next one. I put 3 to 5. I don't know. It sounds about right. I don't really know. And then the last one, really boring. Which Drake will be killed the most at Worlds? I think it's pretty much complete RNG, so I put Cloud. The only thing swaying me towards Cloud, really, is that when a dragon is not Cloud, people tend to be more inclined to kill it, which means that people kill dragons faster in games where Cloud doesn't spawn early, which means that Cloud Soul comes up quicker, so you can kill more Cloud Dragon. I don't know. I don't really think there's anything in it. I think this one was completely pointless and is just like 50 points you can get from RNG. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my crystal ball picks. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if there's anything that you've got that's drastically different to mine, or anything that you think I might have not thought of in regards to like champions or players or even teams, event, I'm not really that bothered about this column, but these first 3 are really fun. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you for the World's Draft reviews day by day. Peace.